Thank you for tuning in. This is Orbit Gauge Software 4.0, Introduction and Training, Part B, just a basic setup tutorial. Again, in this section, it's just going to be a basic training where we set up orbit probes with the Gauge Software 4.0, create an inspection sequence, and then take readings and generate a data export. So let's get started. After you've installed Orbit Gauge Software 4.0 on your computer, one of the first things you'll want to do is click the Start button. Go to Orbit Gauge Enhance, and if you'll see, there's a bunch of different items here. First is the HIM Manager, and that's a Hardware Interface Manager. When you click that, if you'll see, a bubble like this will pop up. And these are all the different drivers that are installed onto the software where you can communicate with not just Orbit, but third-party sensors. So just make sure that the Orbit.net item is clicked for enabled. Then the next item, if you'll see, the Orbit Gauge Setup Manager. So this is the listing of all the different programs or gauges that you've created with the software package. And here we're just going to click New. Yes. But if you'll see too, there's also remote support, and this is for tech support, where perhaps one of our managers can actually dial in and then control the software remotely. And then you have Start DC ENH, and this starts the main software package. So when the software first opens, you're going to come upon a screen like this. This is basically the home screen, or what we also call the sequence selection screen. If you'll see, there's a bunch of tabs along the top. First is File, and this is another way you can do Setup Manager as well as take care of licensing. Then there's Data Collect. This is, of course, where you could run gauging, run your master sequence, as well as look at history. We'll discuss this in a minute. Setup is where, of course, you set up your application. Here's the setup editor. Data, where you can do, after you have allocated some data, you can do an analysis as well as do an export for perhaps analysis into a different SVC program. Hardware is actually where you set up your hardware, whether it be with the Orbit network or a third-party sensor. Now, one nice feature about this software package compared with Orbit GCS or the Excel add-in package, with those two packages, GCS and Excel add-in, you actually have to set up your hardware first and then set up your application. But for this, you could actually do your setup first, then set up your hardware, or vice versa. And then here is Help. And if you click here, actually what's kind of helpful is if you click this arrow, you actually have a wide variety of different tutorial videos that you can opt to open. So for example, configure exports.
This tutorial demonstrates how to configure comma-separated value, CSV, text file export.
So these videos are preloaded with the software package. Again, you can also view them online. Another nice feature as well is you can just go to Index and then type in any keyword search, or again, consult with your local Solartron representative. Now the next feature is, of course, you have 4 key items: Part, Function, Sequence Filter, and Select Items. So under Function, you have 4 main functions. One is standard production, when you're just running the gauge. Then you have Manual, storage off, where you're just not doing any data storage. Perhaps you're just test running the gauge. Gauge R&R, that's pretty self-explanatory. And then Mastering, where you run the mastering sequence. Then even the gauges itself, this is just a sequence filter where you're running an entire gauge, or perhaps you're running just an individual tool. And then if you're running multiple gauges, you can actually have saved sequences. This could be especially helpful with automation. So just to get started, we're going to do a very basic A plus B type measurement. The first thing we'll want to do is set up the digital probes. So for that, we go to Hardware and click Definitions. If you'll see, this is the list of all the different inputs that you can set up. Now right now it's just scheduled to 16, but you can actually just click New and then add scaled 17 up to as many as you can. Again, the Orbit network can run up to 200 sensors. And of course over here you'll see SolartronMetrology.net, and if you click Inputs, you'll see a list of the inputs here. So now to set up the digital probes, actually double click the SolartronMetrology.net, then click the tab that says Orbit Setup. Now, while this bubble is highlighted, click Type. If you'll see first module 1, last module 1, click OK. just click yes. And now just click notify and press your first probe. So here's the first probe connected to the orbit stack, and then you'll see the USB interface module connected up here. And then let's just go to the second bubble, click type, first module, last module 2. Click yes. Notify, now press the tip of the second probe. And again, if you have 40 probes, 100 probes, you just go down the list here. And then once we are done, you can click close. Okay, so now the next thing is if you go to inputs, like input run right here, just click double click source. See how it said N1, M1 back on the orbit page? Just click that here, so that will be the first probe. Then double click this one, N1, M2. And actually, we're just going to change this to probe 1 and probe 2. So again, if you're setting up all sorts of different types of sensors, this is where you'll see you can input the gain, input the offset, input the mean offset. You don't really need to do that with the orbit network because again, it comes pre-calibrated. So now we're back at the home screen. Now, even when you open this software with a fresh new page, there's always going to be at least one part loaded here right now, which is called part 1, of course, but you still need to have an inspection sequence. Now for that, you'll want to go to setup and click setup editor. Now this is the main layout page for that, and actually we could just label this something else like diameter 1. And over here, you'll see you have computer options, part options, sequence options, select part, and then a bunch of different features you can add as well. Feature, step, actual measurement, data set, page editor, those types of things. So one of the first things you'll want to do, of course, is add a gauge. So click gauge and see how 2 more things come down here, and we'll just do feature. And then let's add a step. See how it says inspection? Now if you'll see a couple of these opened up. So let's just go to measurement. And here what you have is a bunch of different measurement templates. For example, the most basic one, read single input, if you're just doing a single probe. Or diameter size, which is the one that we're using here. But if you'll see, there's plenty of other templates loaded. So for example, centerline location, diameter true position. But then if you just click the arrows here, there's actually plenty of geometrical templates that you can draw from, including also form, such as roundness, best plane fitness, profile, orientation, location, or even runout, like what you see here. Now, if these don't fit what you're looking for, you can also just go here and then build a script or your own formula using these different various formulas. And then, of course, here you have the measurement inputs. And here we have it probe 1 and probe 2. We're just going to go back to templates here. Let's scroll back up. Diameter size. So once we have that, if you'll see in this lower right-hand corner, parameters, if you double-click 1, now you have your different scaled inputs. So for this one, we'll just do probe 1, double-click 2, go to scaled, probe 2. So probe 1, probe 2, now click OK. Okay, so now once you have your measurement figured out, next step is to go to page editor. Okay, so now we're at the page editor. And like Microsoft Paint or other similar programs, you're going to see similar icons. So for example, here is a cursor, a zoom in. This is a hand you can use, move around. Of course, this you can use to draw particular objects. So some of the key things, of course, the T here is text. So just put this here. And then what you can do, once you open this, you can see all the properties are over on this side. And right now, actually, what we'll do is, see how it says auto scale font? We're going to go true. So now it auto sizes to whatever the size of the box that you have. And then just go down to text. And we'll just call this piston size, piston check. Move this out like so. And then here is, of course, where you can insert a picture. So this, say you want to do this, and actually we'll shift this over a bit. Like so. Okay. Here, what you want to do, keep the aspect ratio true. All of the different settings are over here. So we'll call it piston. Then under picture, click the right piece here, and then just click browse. And then you can just pull a file from your particular computer, like what you see there. Click OK. So here's the piston. Now, of course, you want to show the particular dimensions on it. So that's where you have some features down here. First, this is where you can insert a column field. So here, let's just do it for the actual measurement of A plus B. So that's M1. Click OK. And then we'll just place it on the left-hand side here. So if you'll see, measurement M1, there are the warming limits as well as, the green limits. Now let's just say too, for probe 1 and probe 2, let's just have the measurements on either side. For that, you can just display the text using this right here. And it says select data source. So here we just go to scale, probe 1, highlight that, click OK. Then if I click over here, if you'll notice actually what the program automatically does is it will actually just go to the second line, which is probe 2. So that'll be placed over here. And now actually we'll do the measurement for up here. So now that you have your screen all set, click exit. Okay, so before we start gauging, let's just do some quick computer settings. So go to computer options and then preferences. And if you'll see on display, one thing we'll want to click is enable recent history display. And also too, if you'll see sequence selection preferences, see how there's a box for show on new part. Actually, we're going to leave that blank because if you do click this box, every time you do take a measurement of the part, it will then take you back to the home screen or the sequence selection screen. So now we're back at the home page or the sequence selection page. One thing before we take measurements is a nice feature that I'd like to point out, and that is if you click hardware and go to simulation, this will actually simulate your particular gauge screen. And this is somewhere where you can check and make sure that the formulas are proper and that the inputs are proper. And even if you click this button right here, you could actually scroll individual inputs like what you see here. So just an extra tool that you have for checking your application. Okay, so now we're back at the home screen or the sequence selection screen. Make sure that these boxes are checked, and let's just click Start. So here is the page that we have created. Now, one nice feature about the software is that if the probes have not traveled, or if the sensors have not changed in any way, you'll see words like this, like minus travel or no move. And that means that, basically, of course, a part hasn't been placed in the gauge yet or a measurement has not been taken. And if I try to click read, it'll say not all measurements gauged and put to no movement, bubble like that. So that's a nice safety check to prevent accidentally, hitting the read button without, taking a gauge measurement. So let's just take a measurement real quick and then click read. So then it'll flash to a screen where it shows the value and its comparison with the specifications that you've set. Then you can actually click regauge if it's unacceptable, perhaps it's a reject or you placed it in wrong, or you click accept. And then what it'll show is actually how many parts that you have measured. And just for the sake of time, we've actually taken a couple of different part measurements right here. So once you're done, just click continue, back to the screen, read. Click accept. And here's a summary of the data. Now, of course, you have an entire mastering sequence that you could go through. And for that, you would go to data collect, master sequence here. To set that up, that would be through setup, but that will be a completely separate training video. You can click on the link above, or again, go back to the YouTube channel. But one thing we'll show real quick is how to do a data export. So for that, after you've taken some measurements, let's go to data and then export. Then if you click select, this is where you pull up the data query. So for whatever amount of data that you've saved so far, the best way to set, the data range would be, of course, the date range. So let's just click the measurements that were taken yesterday with this particular gauge screen. Click OK. And then configure export setups. You can actually just create a new one. And then here you can do like a comma separated value. And again, QC calc, QC stat, blank script. But right now we'll just go with comma separated value or CSV. So this one here, click OK. If you'll see now, once you create setup 1 or setup 2 here, they actually appear as bubbles on the right hand side. So we're just going to go setup 2, and we'll just save it in a data export file, export data v1, save. Okay, so one thing it will show is a bubble like this that it's exported, but it will also show the particular data right here on the screen. So now to view it in Excel, so I've opened Microsoft Excel. Right now you don't see the file in this particular folder, but you want to switch to all files. There it is. Double click. And then once you click through the text import wizard, here is the data on display, the nominal, the data itself, as well as the timestamp. And again, this can be output in different formats. So that concludes this section of the training. And again, additional training videos will be loaded up to the Solartron YouTube channel. That'll include clips for mastering, gauge R&R, connecting with automation, security, as well as other applications examples, for example, flatness, and other tutorials will be added daily. You can also contact your local Solartron representative for more support. Thank you, and have a good day.